This moment, Chen Luo found himself on a picturesque planet surrounded by lush vegetation and fresh air. Without hesitation, he decided to settle there. He released the members from his special ability space. Millie, immediately concerned, asked Brother Chen Luo, "Are you all right?" Chen Luo smiled and shook his head, then said sentimentally, "Our homeland is probably destroyed. Let's temporarily settle here. If this planet is safe, I'll stay here until I reach divine level." Just then, red lanternfish suddenly jumped into the river, caught a half-meter-long blue fish, and presented it to Sea King. Although Chen Luo was touched by his filial piety, he was concerned about the fish's safety. Suddenly, a cat's scream came from the forest, startling Chen Luo, who instinctively looked towards Rice, only to find Rice happily playing by the river. Wondering who made the sound, he saw Thunder King approaching with a cat person, saying, "Master, it was this one who made the sound." The cat person, frightened, meowed incessantly. This familiar language immediately caught Rice's attention, who thought to herself, "Why can I understand its words? Am I a descendant of cat people?" Seeing Rice approach, the cat person quickly hid behind her and began to communicate with Rice in the cat language. Rice then translated what she said to Chen Luo. "She's very scared and wants me to take her home. Her people are nearby." Upon hearing this, Chen Luo immediately said, "I'll go with you. I'm not at ease with you going alone." But just as he finished speaking, a large group of cat people suddenly surrounded them, all wearing hateful expressions and staring intently at Chen Luo and his companions. Seeing this, Rice quickly asked in confusion, "Why do you hate us so much?" Then, a cat-eared girl coldly said, "Have you been brainwashed by them? They capture our people from time to time. How dare you ask why we hate you?" Listening closely, Rice grew angrier the more she heard. She then shouted, "Unforgivable. How dare they treat our cat people like this? From now on, you don't have to be afraid of them anymore. I'll protect you." Just as Chen Luo was about to ask Rice what was going on, a group of figures flew towards them, and the leader chattered on for a long time. Chen Luo didn't understand a word and was about to ask Meng Ying to communicate with them telepathically when a lizard person suddenly used mind transmission first, saying, "This is Lord Camus's territory. The cat people here are properties bred by Lord Camus. You are aliens, right? We've never seen you before. This is not a place for you. Lord Camus is a great demigod-level being." After some conversation, they learned that this was a planet specifically for breeding cat people, who were either used for food or sold as pets, mostly for food. No wonder Rice was so angry earlier. The fate of the cat people was so tragic. Then Chen Luo said gravely, "We just want to stay here temporarily." But they were refused by the lizard people, who said, "This is not a place for you. If you don't want to die, leave quickly." Hearing this, Chen Luo expressionlessly said, "I said we'd leave after a while. Did you not understand?" With that, Chen Luo slapped the leader in the face, killing the lizard person instantly. He then coldly said, "Everyone, attack. Leave none alive." Upon his command, the members immediately rushed forward, swiftly killing all the lizard people. At this moment, the cat-eared girls finally realized that they were not with those bad people. Hearing this, Rice immediately affirmed, "Of course, as long as we're here, we'll never let them bully you again. We won't be leaving for the time being." Half a year passed in a blink of an eye. Besides eating and sleeping, Chen Luo spent his time in a 5x accelerated time zone absorbing crystals. He finally felt a breakthrough coming. The crystal in his head started to shake violently and split into two independent crystals. The moment Chen Luo's space crystal advanced to demigod level, the law force hidden in the universe instantly came to his side. Chen Luo was involuntarily brought into the sky, receiving the baptism of the law. As the law revolved around him, specks of energy entered his body. Meanwhile, Rice, having witnessed Chen Luo's ascension to godhood, also experienced a breakthrough in strength. About half an hour later, Law finally finished transforming Chen Luo's body, signifying his entry into the divine level. However, the runes surrounding Chen Luo were somewhat peculiar, all resembling footprints. These were the marks of voidwalking, Law. But what Chen Luo didn't expect was that the completeness of Law was only at 85%. What? I've only grasped this much of voidwalking. Perhaps it will be perfect when I can traverse the universe with a single thought. I need to focus on mastering the temporal aspect next, to achieve godhood in that realm too. At that moment, Chen Luo noticed that Rice also bore the law runes, despite not being at the divine level. Moreover, the runes on Rice kept changing colors, sometimes pink, sometimes dark red. Were they changing according to Raya's mood? Chen Luo had a mischievous thought. If I make Rice cry with a punch, will her runes turn black? As Chen Luo was lost in thought, Rice suddenly shouted angrily, "The killer of the cat people is here. Chen Luo, you must slap him 100 times." Naturally, Chen Luo wouldn't refuse Raya's request. He remarked that the timing was perfect for a practice fight, to familiarize himself with the power of the divine level. Saying so, Chen Luo used void walking to confront the intruder. This scared Canmas immensely, who yelled, "What do you want to do?" But before he could finish, Chen Luo used another void banishment to send him back to Catstar. Canmas wasted no time in sending a distress signal to his divine-level big brother, Huang Yao. "Lord Huang Yao, I've been caught by a newly promoted divine level. Please, you must save me." The big brother Canmas contacted was Huang Yao, who once went to the Blue Star with Time Trace. Upon receiving the message, Huang Yao was momentarily stunned, then hurriedly replied, "Don't panic. Just mention my name. A new divine level should give me some face. If he doesn't, I'll teach him a lesson. I'll be there in 10 minutes. Hearing this, Canmas felt reassured. He approached Chen Luo respectfully and said, "Sir, I am at your service. If I have offended you in any way, I'll make a satisfactory apology. I am a subordinate of Lord Huang Yao. Could you please spare me this once for his sake?" But before he could finish, a loud slap resounded across his face. At this moment, Chen Luo coldly said, "It's useless to be anyone's lackey. If Rice said he's going to slap you 100 times, then not one less." After the sound of slapping echoed, Chen Luo finally finished giving the 100 slaps entrusted by Rice. Although Canmas's face was swollen like a pig's head, he dared not show any resentment or even utter any harsh words like "you wait and see." Chen Luo then casually asked, "Who is this Huang Yao you mentioned? I've never heard of him." Canmas immediately replied respectfully, "Lord Huang Yao is a divine level of the earth element. He ascended to godhood over 30,000 years ago." The implication was clear. Huang Yao had been a god for 30,000 years, and you, who have just become a god, dared to disrespect him. To this, Chen Luo just responded with an "oh," nonchalantly saying, "Well, there's no one I'm afraid to offend." He continued asking, "Do you know how many divine levels of the space element are there in the universe? I don't know the name of Time Trace, but with the identity of a space element divine level, it should be easy to find him." Just then, Huang Yao, like a yellow meteor, landed on Catstar. This delighted Canmas, who thought to himself that he was finally saved. "My big brother has arrived. Let's see how you die now." However, Huang Yao looked at Chen Luo with a gaze, as if he had seen a ghost, thinking to himself, how could it be him? It's only been half a year, and he's already advanced to divine level. That's just too incredible. So, he immediately turned to run away. But then he stopped, thinking that it was impossible to escape in front of this young man. Instead of running, it might be better to clear things up and try to resolve their grudge. But the next second, countless dimensional blades piercing through heaven and earth struck towards him. What used to be a powerful move that required charging was now just a minor skill, casually unleashed by Chen Luo. Seeing this, Huang Yao instinctively wanted to swing out an earth shield to block. But then he thought, this attack can't hurt me. I can block it, but I won't. I'll let this young man vent his anger. Under Canmas's disbelieving gaze, Huang Yao kept screaming as he was bombarded by Chen Luo's dimensional blades. How is this possible? A newly promoted divine-level youngster can overpower Lord Huang Yao, who ascended to godhood through his defense. Even Chen Luo himself was stunned. Am I really that strong? Huang Yao, in a tragic tone, said, "Little brother, stop fighting. Let's talk this out. I'll tell you a piece of great news right now. It'll definitely satisfy you." Then Chen Luo coldly asked, "Speak up. What's the good news? Apart from you, all those other people are dead?" Huang Yao's mouth twitched. "You really are vicious." Then he turned to Canmas and ordered, "You go stand guard on the perimeter. Without my order, no one is allowed to approach." After Canmas left, Huang Yao took out a memory crystal. A video appeared on it. Time Trace wanted to destroy your home planet in a fit of powerless rage. But we three stopped him. A small asteroid was heading towards Blue Star. Snake Mother, Thunder Roar, and I, Huang Yao, joined forces to shatter it. Actually, one of us was enough. But all three of us acted to show sincerity. Chen Luo watched with wide eyes, muttering, "Wasn't Blue Star destroyed by that space system? Did you protect my home planet?" Hearing this, Huang Yao took the opportunity to say, "At that time, Time Trace did want to destroy your home planet. But we three stopped him. We all felt that you, little brother, would achieve great things in the future and didn't want to make such an enemy. We risked our lives to protect Blue Star for you. Sure enough, we were right. In just half a year, little brother, you've advanced to the divine level. To make up for our previous mistake, we're willing to compensate." Chen Luo, trembling, said, "Blue Star is still there." "That's great." He looked at Huang Yao excitedly. "If what you say is true, then we can wipe the slate clean between us. But that space system divine level must die. You just said his name is Time Trace, right?" Huang Yao nodded in agreement, essentially betraying Time Trace. He didn't want to be this kind of person. But Chen Luo's displayed potential was too astonishing. Chen Luo continued to ask, "What grudge? What grievance? Why did Time Trace want to exterminate me?" Huang Yao was in a dilemma. He knew the reason clearly. It was all because of Violet's causality system prophecy. But he knew he couldn't tell Chen Luo, as that would mean offending Lady Violet, and those who offended her never ended well. He suggested that Chen Luo could only ask Time Trace for the answer, advising him not to dig too deep or seek to hold her accountable, as her abilities were beyond his comprehension. "That's all I can tell you," he said. Seeing that Huang Yao didn't seem to be joking, Chen Luo didn't press further. Then he solemnly said, "I've just entered divine level, and there's much I don't understand. Is there any realm above divine level?" Huang Yao immediately clarified that there isn't. Divine level is already the highest level in this universe. He explained that the strength of a divine level is measured by how many laws they have acquired. However, having more laws doesn't necessarily mean they are stronger than those with fewer laws. It also depends on their completion rate of these laws. "Little brother, what's your completion rate for your voidwalking law?" The law must have hinted at it. Chen Luo responded that it's only 85%. Upon hearing this, Huang Yao was shocked and exclaimed, "Reaching 30% would be favored by the law. Allowing a demigod level to advance to divine level, and you have reached 85%, the level of comprehension affects the degree to which the law remodels oneself. This means that a divine level who has comprehended 2 laws at 30% each would be inferior to you in strength. I suggest you enter deep space to comprehend further, where you can find various spatial energies. Mastering them, you will understand various spatial laws." He then asked, "Is it possible to become a god with dual abilities?" Huang Yao nodded and said, "It's possible. The first awakened element is always more attuned to oneself. The second one is somewhat less so. Therefore, the earlier the second ability is awakened, the better, indicating higher talent." Chen Luo thought to himself that it matched his thoughts. Although awakening dual abilities earlier increases the demand for crystals, it's a worthwhile trade. He then inquired about how many laws Time Trace had comprehended. Huang Yao immediately answered that Time Trace had understood 2 laws, one for attack and the other for teleportation. Time Trace had become a divine level and wealthy through his expertise in spatial teleportation. During the Budwa family's invasion of Blue Star, they had paid him a large sum to build a spatial tunnel. Through amassed wealth, Time Trace had made many connections. Chen Luo scoffed, "So he's just a transporter." Huang Yao lamented that spatial types could handle transportation, metal types could work on equipment, and natural types could deal with divine herbs, while their earth type was reduced to mere laborers helping others with construction. When Time Trace approached him, Snake Mother and Thunder Roar, he offered 1 million purple crystals for accompanying him to Blue Star, with an additional 2 million upon success. Chen Luo remembered Isman's space ring, which contained a few thousand purple crystals. It seemed they were really willing to pay a high price to deal with him. He quickly asked Huang Yao what 1 purple crystal could buy. Huang Yao thought for a moment and said that an ordinary cat-eared girl would be worth half a purple crystal, while a top-quality one could sell for 10,000. Huang Yao then turned serious and warned Chen Luo that, despite his powerful void-walking ability, it was not invulnerable. He knew of 2 methods to counter it, the time system's time freeze and the psychic system's mental attacks. The former was almost unsolvable, while the latter wouldn't threaten his life, but could easily distract him. Once drawn into an illusion, getting hurt was inevitable. However, Chen Luo himself was of the time system, making time freeze essentially ineffective against him. Hearing this, Chen Luo's expression darkened. Even the slightest threat to his life was a grave concern. He realized the need to acquire armor to counter mental attacks. Huang Yao then simply introduced him to the situation in the universe. In the universe, there are already several top divine-level beings who have comprehended 6 laws. There are also 2 gods who have comprehended 8 laws. Currently, the most special law is the causal law controlled by Violet. If you offend her, you will be punished by the unseen causality. Moreover, she can reincarnate after death. Chen Luo listened more and felt that her ability was a bit like Rai's. However, she is much weaker than Rice. If Rice wants you to be unlucky, you can't even avoid it. It's just a pity that Rice has not yet grown up. Little do they know that once Rice grows up, Violet will be nothing but trash in front of her. After Huang Yao finished introducing the situation in the universe, he didn't dawdle and immediately took out a purple crystal card and said, "Young brother, this card contains 3 million purple crystals. You'll definitely need it since you're new here. Don't think it's too little. I've offended you before. Please don't take it to heart." Saying this, Huang Yao stuffed the purple crystal card into his pocket. "If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave now." After sending off Huang Yao, Chen Luo found Rice and asked her what would be best to do next. Although he already knew the address of Time Trace with his current strength, he couldn't kill him yet. Hearing this, Rice immediately said that fighting is not your strong suit, but running away. "You are number 1 in this universe." With this remark, Chen Luo suddenly realized, "Right, then I'll set off now to look for suitable equipment on other planets. Your runes are very special. Rice, it's better not to let others see them." Hearing this, Rice immediately assured him, "Don't worry. I know what I'm doing. Sometimes showing the runes can avoid some trouble. Let's not talk about this now. Hurry up and take me to taste the food on various planets." Hearing this, Chen Luo didn't dawdle and immediately agreed. "You go call the others and we'll go to other planets to see." Then, Chen Luo wrapped his body with law and flew straight into the vast universe. Soon, Chen Luo arrived at a glittering golden planet. This is a 9th-level civilized happy planet named Volsi, also a very famous shopping paradise. As long as you have money, you can enjoy everything in the universe here. Chen Luo and his companions were curious about everything like country bumpkins entering the city, and they started a shopping spree. Whatever they took a fancy to, they bought it. Then they arrived at the top-floor Cloud restaurant. At this time, Chen Luo boldly said, "Except for this and this, bring me one of every kind." This scared the waiter, who hurriedly shouted, "Are you sure you want to order so much?" Chen Luo didn't pay attention and directly took out the purple crystal card to pay. The next second, everyone started a crazy eating mode, all exclaiming how delicious the food was, totally different from the food on their Blue Star. This meal alone cost 520,000 purple crystals. Firstly, the prices here were the most expensive in the entire universe, and secondly, this group of foodies could really eat. Seeing that they were big spenders, the waiter politely presented a stack of promotional posters, saying, "Sir, with your status, you are eligible to attend tomorrow's private auction. You might be interested in checking it out." Chen Luo casually took the poster and glanced at it, his pupils suddenly narrowing. On the poster was a silver helmet, specifically designed to defend against psychic attacks, exactly the kind of equipment Chen Luo urgently needed. This helmet was only the 3rd-ranked item. The second was a flying saucer, obviously very valuable, but Chen Luo wasn't interested in it. The top-ranked item was a bright red fruit. Chen Luo flicked the poster and then asked the waiter if these items had already arrived. The waiter quickly replied that the auction was to be held the next day, and the items would only be delivered to the site on the day itself. Chen Luo nodded, thinking that he could only take action tomorrow. The next morning, Chen Luo put Mi Li and others into his special ability space, and then disguised himself as Yuri, a base member, and leisurely walked into the auction. The MC walked to the center of the stage, and began introducing the auction items. The first item was a flower fairy from the Dora clan, with sovereign-level strength. The Dora clan possessed the trait of eternal youth, and with her sovereign-level strength, she could maintain her appearance for 2,000 years. The starting bid was 100,000 purple crystals. The MC assured that there was no need to worry about her betrayal as her clan members were under the control of the seller. If she dared to betray, she would become a criminal of her race. Hearing this, Chen Luo was expressionless, thinking to himself, is this the tragedy of the week? But there were too many pitiable people, and Chen Luo couldn't save them all. Eventually, the flower fairy was sold for 380,000 purple crystals. The second item caught Chen Luo's eye. It was a sovereign-level sublimation grass, with a starting bid of 300,000 purple products. Consuming it would directly grant someone's sovereign-level potential. Although it was useless for Chen Luo, Mu had been stuck at level 8 and couldn't advance. Without a second thought, he bought the sovereign-level sublimation grass for 650,000 purple crystals. The next three items were the highlights of the day. The first to be auctioned was the silver helmet, Chen Luo's main target. The MC announced that it was personally crafted by Master Norton, designed to counter psychic attacks, guaranteeing immunity from demigod-level attacks, and greatly reducing divine-level psychic attacks. The starting bid was 8 million purple crystals. Hearing this, Chen Luo was shocked, wondering to himself if metalworking was so profitable. He had seen long new craft equipment. These metalworkers seemed to have a business with no cost. After a round of bidding, the helmet was quickly bid up to 12 million purple crystals. This scared Chen Luo quite a bit. To put it in perspective, a complete set of auburn armor was only worth 10 million. Therefore, he was determined to get this helmet. However, Chen Luo didn't place a bid. A sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth, and he thought to himself, spending money on a sublimation grass was already giving you enough face. Now, it's time for you to show me some respect. The next second, the lights in the instantly turning on. The whole venue was in darkness for only 0.01 seconds. The auctioneer, with an unchanged expression, smiled and announced, 12 million once. Any higher bids? Just then, out of the corner of his eye, the auctioneer seemed to notice something and suddenly shouted, "Where's the helmet?" Chen Luo chuckled inwardly, thinking, a simple glass cover thinks it can stop me? Who do they underestimate? Soon after, a team of uniformed security guards walked towards the audience with serious expressions, but they found nothing. The surveillance cameras didn't capture any clues either. They couldn't understand how the helmet, which was inside a crystal cover, could just vanish. This was the first time the organizers had encountered such a situation. Without any evidence, they naturally didn't dare to search the bodies of the VIP guests, as all the attendees were distinguished figures. The auctioneer then quickly reassured everyone, "Please remain calm, it's just a minor interruption, please rest assured, the auction will continue." The next item for auction was a centerpiece, the vermilion fruit. Almost everyone present, including about 10 divine-level individuals, came for this fruit. To Chen Luo's surprise, this vermilion fruit turned out to be a living entity with a humanoid appearance. Consuming this fruit for the first time could increase one's lifespan by 10,000 years. Chen Luo's original purpose was only for the helmet, but seeing this treasure, he decided to take it along since he was already there. Considering his previous theft of the helmet, the organizers would definitely mark the vermilion fruit or use some other means. Getting caught didn't matter to him, as he was in the guise of Yuri at that time. Just as the auctioneer excitedly announced the last item for the day, to everyone's shock, the vermilion fruit mysteriously disappeared right before their eyes. An alarm sounded immediately, and a large number of guards entered the venue. Then, a little old man with a serious expression stepped onto the stage and shouted, "Seal off the entire venue, the thief must still be inside." The vermilion fruit can't be stored in a spatial ring, so we ask our distinguished guests to cooperate. Don't worry, we won't search your spatial rings, please understand. Soon, a guard approached Chen Luo and respectfully asked him to stand up and turn around. Chen Luo complied without hesitation and thought to himself, just because other spatial rings can't store living things doesn't mean mine can't. After a thorough search, the old man's mentality completely collapsed, because after turning this place upside down, they still haven't found the vermilion fruit. The other divine levels present also had mixed feelings, wondering how it was done. It's already incomprehensible that it was stolen under their noses, and now it's even been hidden away. At this moment, a divine level, unable to contain his anger, roared, "For this vermilion fruit. I saved purple crystals frugally for 50,000 years, and even borrowed some from friends. Now my end is near. Without this vermilion fruit, I'm certain to die. I don't care, you must find another one for me." Hearing this, Chen Luo was shocked. His end is near, and he's a divine level of the lightning element. He saved purple crystals for 50,000 years. If not 50 million, then at least 30 million. Chen Luo immediately had an evil thought. If I kill this old man, not only can I get a large amount of purple crystals, but also obtain a divine level crystal. As for morality and ethics, Isman had already taught him a lesson before. In the universe, the strong are revered. One must be unscrupulous for power, dignity, pride, all nonsense. The essence of the universal law is plunder. Although Chen Luo can't defeat this divine level, he can use time acceleration against him. This move is useless against a normal divine level, but it's not a big problem for one whose end is near. At this time, the old man helplessly said, "Malmer, be rational. We don't want this to happen either." Upon hearing this, Malmer became furious. "Rational? It's not your end that's near. Of course you can afford to be indifferent here." Seeing this, the old man quickly tried to appease him. "I fully understand your feelings, but even if you tear this place apart now, it's of no use. Why not try your luck elsewhere? Maybe you'll find another one to compensate for your loss. We're willing to pay 100,000 in travel expenses. How about that?" After Malmer snorted coldly, he took the compensation and left in anger. Chen Luo thought to himself, could this be a performance staged by the auction house for me to see? After all, a successful thief would certainly need to dispose of the stolen goods if not used personally. And this unwitting buyer is eagerly exposing himself. But whether it's a trap or not, I've taken the bait. I'm Yuri. Who do I fear? Malmer had just left when suddenly a paper note appeared in front of him. Instinctively, he picked it up and read, "Do you want a vermilion fruit? I happen to have one. If you're interested, come to the outskirts of the Charles planet." Malmer was overjoyed upon reading this. He immediately sped towards Charles planet. Soon, Malmer arrived at the agreed location. Seeing this, Chen Luo quickly approached to greet him. But Malmer, impatient, said, "Cut the crap. Where is the vermilion fruit?" Chen Luo smiled slightly and responded, "The vermilion fruit from the auction was indeed taken by me, but it's currently with a friend of mine who is on his way here. He'll arrive in 3 months. Malmer immediately threatened, "If you dare play tricks or double-cross me, I'll risk my old life and explode to take you down with me." Chen Luo quickly assured him, saying they were just petty thieves and not bold enough for such actions. He thought to himself that the longer he could delay, the greater the chance of killing Malmer. Chen Luo then seriously offered, "Vermilion fruit is a priceless treasure. How about selling it to you for 50 million purple crystals?" Malmer frowned and retorted, "This is stolen goods. You're not thinking of selling it at the original price, are you? 40 purple crystals. Take it or leave it. I'll leave right away if you don't sell." Chen Luo quickly agreed to Malmer's offer, although his initial plan was to delay for a few months before taking action. Suddenly, Malmer took out a communicator and said, "You come here too. If I get cheated, the purple crystals you led me will be gone too." A familiar voice came from the other side, agreeing and saying he would arrive soon. Chen Luo watched coldly, recognizing the voice of Time Trace. Malmer then smiled and said, "To prevent you from double-crossing, it's not too much to call a friend over, right?" Chen Luo immediately agreed, saying, "Of course not. In that case, I will send you on your way right now." As soon as he finished speaking, Malmer shouted in anger, accusing Chen Luo of deceiving him and summoned a purple lightning, striking at him with incredible speed. However, Chen Luo didn't confront it head-on, but used a void walk to dodge the attack. Malmer was initially stunned, then coldly said, "So what if you can void walk? Do you think you can escape my wrath like that?" He then activated a skill that caused a spatial collapse, preventing the use of void walking, and launched an attack at Chen Luo. Chen Luo, however, was not alarmed, pleased, thinking to himself that Malmer's mastery of lightning power was similar to that of Thunder King. Now that Thunder King had reached demigod level, absorbing Malmer's law comprehension could definitely advance him to divine level. However, just as Malmer was about to hit Chen Luo at the last moment, he once again used a void walk to dodge Malmer's powerful move. This scared Malmer considerably, who hastily exclaimed, "Under these circumstances, you shouldn't be able to use void walk." Unwilling to give up, Malmer continued to attack Chen Luo several more times, but all were evaded. While infinitely using void walk, Chen Luo kept accelerating time on Malmer. Realizing something was wrong, Malmer thought, "Why am I wasting my time here if I can't catch this kid? Better to hurry and find the vermilion fruit to extend my life." But as he tried to leave, with Chen Luo using void banishment, the next second Malmer found himself back in his original place, infuriating him. He shouted, "I'm not even bothering with you anymore. What more do you want?" Hearing this, Chen Luo smiled slightly. "Of course, I want your life." He then immediately used time acceleration to drain Malmer's life. At this moment, Malmer also realized something was amiss. Suddenly, terrifying thunder and lightning burst out from his body, rapidly expanding in all directions. He wanted to use a massive attack to leave Chen Luo with no room to escape. Chen Luo, however, chose not to dodge, thinking, what if this guy takes the chance to escape and all is for naught? Although the attack seemed powerful, it was too dispersed to harm a divine-level being. "I'll take this attack," Chen Luo decided, and a spatial shield appeared around him, blocking all the lightning attacks. At this time, Malmer suddenly coughed, and his appearance aged rapidly. Seeing this, Chen Luo didn't hesitate and immediately accelerated time. A chill went through Malmer's heart, thinking, is my life coming to an end? He then roared in anger, "Are you going to let me go or not? If you don't let me leave, I'll self-destruct. Even though I can't kill you, you'll be severely injured." Hearing this, Chen Luo paused, thinking, this guy was already planning for life extension when he still had half of his lifespan left. He's extremely afraid of death. He's talking about a mutual destruction, but he's actually more cowardly than anyone. Chen Luo was sure Malmer wouldn't dare to self-destruct, so he desperately accelerated time on him. Malmer felt his life fading away, growing weaker and weaker. He yelled at Chen Luo, "It's all your fault. If it weren't for you, I would have already obtained the vermilion fruit. You'll have to join me in death." However, as soon as he finished speaking, Malmer realized he no longer had the strength to self-destruct. In a panic, Malmer quickly pulled out a purple crystal card and tried to destroy it with all his might. The event happened so suddenly that by the time Chen Luo used Void Walk to snatch the purple crystal card, it was already ruined. Malmer laughed wildly, saying, "All your schemes are in vain. This card is already destroyed. You won't get a single purple crystal from it." He laughed and coughed simultaneously, but soon his laughter stopped abruptly. To his disbelief, the destroyed purple crystal card became intact again. Chen Luo looked at Malmer as if he were a fool, muttering, "Did you think I could only accelerate time? It shouldn't be surprising that I can reverse time. You're still too naive to play mind games with me." As soon as the words were spoken, Malmer collapsed directly onto the ground. Chen Luo then took out his divine-level lightning crystal. After a moment of contemplation, he figured that Time Trace would arrive soon. He wondered whether to wait for him, but quickly dismissed the thought, realizing that even if Time Trace came, he couldn't kill him, only provoking relentless pursuit. Deciding to let him live a bit longer, Chen Luo immediately left the area. However, no sooner had he left than Time Trace arrived at the planet. Seeing the remnants of battle, Time Trace called out Malmer's name several times to no answer, worrying that Malmer, who had mentioned making a deal here, might have been double-crossed. Regretting the 10 million purple crystals he had lent Malmer, Chen Luo planned to purify the blue star and soon arrived at a bustling planet near it. He entered a shop specializing in natural items, filled with various spiritual herbs, woods, and liquids, perfect for purifying the blue star. He began an extravagant shopping spree, buying everything appealing, including star trees with purification abilities, shrimp for water purification, and the succulent pig louse beast, ordering 100 tons of each. This shocked the shopkeeper. "You're not joking, are you?" Hearing this, Chen Luo's eyes widened. "Can I buy this much?" The shop owner quickly responded with a smile. No, it's just that the amount you want is quite large. It might take a little while. Where's your spaceship parked? I'll arrange for someone to help you load it directly." Upon hearing this, Chen Luo suddenly realized something. Although he can store living beings in his special ability space, he must never reveal it in front of others. He remembered that when he killed Isman, he found a spaceship in her space ring, but he was unable to open it. It seemed to require fingerprint or facial recognition for access. Then, he handed the card to the boss, indicating that he should start preparing. In this universe, Chen Luo only knew Huang Yao well. So, he immediately contacted Huang Yao and asked if he knew someone who could modify spaceships. Hearing this, Huang Yao quickly responded that he did know someone. But the modification cost was a bit expensive, probably around 3 million purple crystals. Upon hearing this, Chen Luo smiled slightly. "It's just a small sum. Also, do you know anyone well-versed in the light-type divine level? Especially those skilled in purification? You know the situation in my hometown. I need someone to help with the purification. Money is no issue. I'm willing to offer 5 million. If that's not enough, I can add more. Hearing this, Huang Yao was shocked and thought to himself, just now it was 3 million. Now it's 5 million. Brother, where are you making all this money? He quickly said that he would handle this matter and informed Chen Luo once he found someone. At this moment, the boss said that everything Chen Luo had ordered was ready. He noted that the spaceship seemed too small to carry everything and asked if Chen Luo needed him to contact an interstellar transporter. Chen Luo immediately responded that he would appreciate the boss's help and asked for a competent one, stating that money was not an issue. Hearing this, the boss didn't hesitate and immediately contacted the most famous interstellar transporter in the area. Then, the boss introduced him, saying, "This is Lord Seth, the proud disciple of Lord Time Trace." Hearing this, Chen Luo was stunned. What? Time Trace's disciple? This is truly a narrow road for enemies. Then don't blame me for being ruthless. But outwardly, he kindly asked, how much would it cost to transport 100,000 pig lizard beasts to Catstar? Seth quickly made an estimate and replied that transporting 100,000 pig lizard beasts would require 10 trips, each costing 50,000 purple crystals. Upon hearing this, the boss was shocked and thought to himself, ripping off customers isn't done like this, is it? You're really asking for a lion's share, aren't you? Chen Luo wasn't foolish either. These beasts are worth just tens of thousands of purple crystals. And you're asking for a transportation fee of 500,000? Setting up a space tunnel takes at most 3 days. You, a demigod level, earning 500,000 crystals in 3 days. Is there any justice? Any law? You're not helping me transport Julian beasts. You're slaughtering me like one. Seth had heard that this guy was a big spender, so he planned to fleece him. But what he never expected was that Chen Luo, without even bargaining, just paid with his card. Indeed, as the boss said, this guy really was a fool with too much money. Chen Luo thought to himself, you can earn all you want, but you need to be alive to spend it. I must teach this guy a lesson. Then Seth started building the space tunnel, while Chen Luo asked him about the precision of his deliveries. How can you ensure that these items will be delivered to Catstar? Seeing Chen Luo settle the bill so readily, Seth didn't hold back and explained, in our line of work, first, you need to be familiar with the universe's coordinates. Then, you build the space tunnel according to the coordinates' direction and distance. At this, Chen Luo suddenly understood. He didn't know how to transport back to Blue Star before because he was unclear about its exact location. Fortunately, Huang had taught him how to read interstellar coordinates. Chen Luo felt something at that moment. Although the power of space transportation was different from void walking, the two were quite similar. It was impossible to complete ultra-long distance transportation solely with his own abilities. He had to utilize the power of space itself. Just then, Seth said he had already transported 10,000 beasts. My ability has been drained. I need to rest before continuing. Upon hearing this, Chen Luo indifferently said, step aside. I'll do it myself. Seth was stunned. What do you mean? Chen Luo closed his eyes, and a space tunnel formed in his hands, frightening Seth. This guy is actually in the same business. Before Seth could understand the situation, Chen Luo had already built a tunnel to Blue Star. This scared the boss quite a bit. He immediately shouted, you can do this too. Seth, with a gloomy face, said, professional work should be left to professionals. Space transportation isn't as simple as you think. Hearing this, Chen Luo gave him a look and then coldly said, are you teaching me how to do my job? Hearing this, Seth quickly said he didn't dare to do so. What I mean is, even if you build it yourself, the money can't be refunded. That's my rule. Upon hearing this, Chen Luo immediately retorted, you, a demigod level, are talking to me about rules? Choosing money over your life? Surprisingly, Seth remained calm in the face of the threat, stating that violence was strictly forbidden on this planet, and that it was guarded by 2 divine-level beings. You can't scare me. Besides, I am a proud disciple of Time Trace. You can't mock me like this. If you don't need me to build the space tunnel, then I'll leave. Chen Luo slightly smiled upon hearing this and said, today, I'll give Time Trace some respect and not trouble you. Get lost. Seth's eyes flickered with a hint of triumph as he pretended to leave respectfully, thinking to himself that there was no way he would refund the money. Just then, the sky suddenly lit up with endless colorful rays. That's right, the second law is here. Chen Luo mumbled to himself, looking up at the sky in bewilderment. I was just trying casually. How did the law come so easily? But I like it. Come on, baptize me with all your might. At this moment, all beings on the planet watched the sky enviously. The radiance also attracted the attention of the two divine-level beings guarding the planet, Richard of the fire element and Sentai of the wind element. They initially thought Seth had ascended to godhood and quickly flew towards the light. Upon arrival, they realized it was not Seth who had become a god. Sentai closely examined Chen Luo's law runes and exclaimed, he actually comprehended the space transport law. It's exactly like the runes I've seen on Time Trace. This made both divine-level beings envious. Another god is about to be born. However, Chen Luo appeared frustrated as his mastery over the space transport was only at 33%, far below his 85% mastery of void walking. Seth, arriving later, was in disbelief. How is this possible? He just learned space transport and now he's comprehended the law. What about my 1,000 years of meticulous study? He felt utterly humiliated. Thinking this, Seth's expression darkened as he took out his communication tool and immediately contacted Time Trace. Master, there's trouble. Someone is competing with your business. He has mastered the just like you. Time Trace was shocked upon hearing this and demanded to know who it was. When Seth transmitted the scene, Time Trace was frightened. This is impossible. How can it be this young man? Wasn't he only strong in void walking? How did he ascend to godhood with space transport? Upon closer inspection, he realized that Chen Luo was enveloped in two laws, indicating that he had already become a god before. And like him, he was a god of two laws. After Chen Luo comprehended the second law, Time Trace was seething with rage, murmuring to himself, Lord Violet indeed didn't deceive me. Even if I don't make a move, due to interests, that lad and I will become archenemies. The greatest enmity is no more than killing one's parents or blocking one's wealth. Even if I don't deal with him, what about that lad? Will he find an opportunity to kill me and seize my business? At that moment, Seth softly said, Master, should we find a way to kill him? Otherwise, your high-end market share will be snatched away by him. Seth's words made Time Trace's expression darken like still water. I don't know how that lad will compete with me for business next. Maybe I just took a deal for 500,000 purple crystals, and he might take it for 100,000. This is literally being out-compete to death. But that lad can use void walking infinitely. What can I do against him? Now, I have no choice but to seek Lord Violet's help. I can't deal with him, but maybe the causal system has a way too. Meanwhile, on the other side, after Chen Luo just finished receiving the law modification and returned to the ground, Richard and Sentai rushed forward to make acquaintances. Young man, you've mastered the exceedingly rare law of spatial teleportation. Your future is boundlessly wealthy. Saying this, Richard fiddled with his spatial ring and then took out a demigod-level crystal of the light system to give to him. Chen Luo smiled and accepted the crystal. Thanks, brother. I really like this gift. Seeing this, Sentai didn't want to be outdone and immediately took out a land deed to give to Chen Luo. This is a house on this planet. It's not luxurious, but it gives you a place to stay when you come here in the future. Chen Luo, with a grand gesture, said, Thank you, brothers. I've just arrived and don't have much to offer. So, let me host a dinner tonight, and let's all have a big meal together. During the meal, Sentai seriously warned, Young brother, the news about your mastery of the spatial teleportation law will spread quickly. You need to be wary of Time Trace. You're in the same business, and that often makes for the fiercest rivalry. Be careful of his underhanded tactics. Richard suggested you should find a strong backer as soon as possible. Hearing this, Chen Luo smiled and nodded, thinking to himself, Voidwalking is my biggest backer. The one who should be worried about being ambushed is him, not me. After a satisfying meal, Chen Luo resumed his shopping spree and soon noticed a snakeskin bag that caught his eye. An old man approached with a smile, saying, My lord, you have a good eye. This is the treasure of our store. Chen Luo curiously asked, A mere snakeskin bag is the treasure of the store? The old man, not the least bit offended, smiled and explained, This bag is crafted from the shed skin of the mother of all snakes. Its utility lies in holding living things, such as spiritual herbs and creatures, which cannot be placed in spatial rings. It's especially useful if you're worried about them escaping from your hands. With this bag, even a demigod-level being cannot escape once inside. Hearing this, Chen Luo's eyes lit up. This really seems like an essential artifact for home. It's perfect for my plan to capture Seth. This snakeskin bag couldn't be more suitable. He immediately inquired about the price. The elder held up one finger. For you, a special price. 1 million purple crystals. Upon hearing the words, Chen Luo was shocked and dismayed. Just for the shabby snakeskin bag? You have the nerve to ask for 1 million? I don't think you want to keep your shop open anymore. The old man was startled. Just the cost of raw materials is 750,000 purple crystals. Minus the processing fee, I really didn't make much. Seeing you're a master who has just comprehended the law, I gave you this discount. Chen Luo felt there might be some reason to it after hearing this. Especially since the bag can contain a demigod-level being. He then inquired, is this mother of 1,000 snakes hard to breed? The raw materials are so expensive. It's not really that. Actually, the mother of 1,000 snakes is of divine level. Forced by circumstances to sell this snakeskin, Chen Luo immediately thought of someone upon hearing this. This mother of 1,000 snakes wouldn't happen to be the snake mother, would it? Without hesitation, he spent a hefty sum to purchase it. Then, Chen Luo inquired about Seth's address, and immediately used a void home. At that moment, Seth was sitting at a table, drowning his sorrows in drink. Cursing under his breath, the kid is definitely doomed. My master will never allow him to cause trouble. But just then, a snakeskin bag suddenly appeared above Seth's head, capturing him with the speed of lightning. Realizing what was happening, Seth immediately began to struggle, but was knocked unconscious by Chen Luo with a slap. He then took him through a long-distance void walk, arriving at a remote planet in 3 seconds. Then he released Seth and started a barrage of punches and kicks, really laying into him. Muttering to himself, taking me for a fool. Ha, a proud student of time trace. Ha, talking to me about rules. Ha, my rule is the rule. In no time, Seth's screams echoed across the stars. In just 2 minutes, Seth died in such an unclear and baffling manner. Then, Chen Luo excitedly rubbed his hands. Let's see how much money you have on your purple crystal card. He swiftly took Seth's spatial rein, then pulled out the purple crystal card inside. To his utter shock, the balance was only 1.3 million purple crystals. How is this possible? This guy is a space series demigod level, a master of spatial teleportation, and he has lived nearly 2,000 years for this meager wealth. Suddenly realizing something, Chen Luo quickly reached into Seth's brain cavity, then extracted his demigod-level crystal. Soon, he found a small bump on the crystal, which was precisely Seth's special ability space. As Chen Luo fiercely squeezed it, Seth's special ability space exploded instantly, delighting Chen Luo immensely. Sure enough, this guy had all his wealth in his unique space. Most of what burst out were books, along with another purple crystal card and some bottles and jars. Chen Luo hurriedly picked up the purple crystal card and swiped it through the card reader. His eyes nearly popped out of his head when he saw the amount inside. My goodness, 520 million purple crystals? He also discovered a notebook of Seth's containing insights on the law, which he began to peruse. Just then, Richard and Sentai suddenly contacted Chen Luo. We have a big business proposal for you. The Volsea Empire is planning to build a teleportation array. Previously, all such projects were done by Time Trace, but now you can do it too. We've recommended you to the Empire. 200,000 purple crystals per teleportation point, with a total of 10 arrays needed. That's 2 million purple crystals in total. Sentai expressed his envy. 2 million a year? I'm so envious, brother. Just nod, and this deal is yours. Upon hearing this, Chen Luo fell into deep thought. He had never considered using spatial teleportation law for money-making, and the 2 million purple crystals didn't seem like much to him. So, he dismissively responded, "Thanks for the thought, but I have another friend to meet and really can't take on this deal." Richard, in disbelief, exclaimed, "That's a deal worth 2 million a year. Do you have a mine at home or something?" But Chen Luo was adamant, insisting he had more important matters to attend to, and then he ended the communication. Meanwhile, after learning that Chen Luo mastered spatial law, Time Trace went to find Violet. Seeing her fishing by the river, he didn't dare to disturb her and just stood quietly behind her. After a couple of minutes, Violet finally spoke in a mild tone. "Time Trace, you've come again. Have you resolved the matter of the life and death enemy? Upon hearing her words, Time Trace immediately explained the situation to Violet, then fell to his knees. You must help me. The boy's growth rate is too fast. It's making me lose sleep. Violet muttered to herself. Is it karma or destiny after all? A not yet matured karma can't possibly break the prophecy I've laid down. Then it must be destiny. But suddenly, she burst into laughter, puzzling Time Trace. Without explaining, she shouted wildly. They say when destiny is absent, karma reigns supreme. Destiny stands above karma, but I don't believe it. Why should it be so? Let's have a contest. I've grown through countless hardships to reach where I am now, and your life has been good, clinging to a powerful support, avoiding many disasters. With cold eyes gazing at the calm lake in front of her, she decided to take action against Chen Luo and coldly stated, "Don't worry, I'll make a move." Hope sparked in Time Trace as he asked, "Great Violet, if you're taking action, when will he die?" Violet replied indifferently, "Don't rush. Let the bullet fly for a while. You just go back and wait. Remember, let nature take its course." Time Trace, not daring to say more, obeyed. "Yes, your command." Thinking to himself, the mysterious law of karma is unpredictable, but Violet's prowess is unquestionable. "Ha, Chen Luo, you're definitely done for this time." However, in the next moment, Violet spat out a mouthful of old blood, which startled her. How could this be? I didn't even strike at that person of destiny, merely meddled a bit with the karma of that spatial being and suffered such severe backlash. Could that spatial being have something special? Suddenly, Violet aged decades in just a moment. Damn it, that spatial being is no less than destiny itself. But it doesn't matter. His destiny has already changed. Let's wait and see. Meanwhile, Huang Yao's butler suddenly came in. "Sir, there's a young man named Chen Luo looking for you outside. He says he's your friend." Hearing this, Huang Yao's spirits lifted. "Please invite him in." "No, wait, I'll go greet him myself." "Quickly, call little Li." Huang Yao then personally welcomed Chen Luo. Just then, a burly figure approached, shouting, "Father, did you call for me?" Huang Yao quickly introduced them. "This is your Uncle Chen." Although Huang Li appeared younger than Chen Luo, he respectfully greeted Chen Luo as Uncle Chen. In response, Chen Luo didn't hesitate and pulled out the purple crystal card worth over 1,000,000 as a greeting gift. Huang Li accepted it without much ado, thanking him before excitedly leaving with the card. Huang Yao then spoke gravely. "I've arranged everything for the spaceship modification. You just need to find Snake Mother. She can even give you a discount. However, finding a light system expert skilled in purification is challenging. Due to your mother's star's remote location, it's difficult to find someone willing to go there, regardless of the money." Chen Luo understood the difficulties, lamenting that Li wasn't skilled in purification, or else once she reached divine level, they wouldn't need to rely on others. At that moment, Huang Yao suggested, "Let me ask Snake Mother. Maybe she can find someone." He contacted Snake Mother, who immediately responded, "No need to worry about finding a light system expert. I can handle it. I'll accompany Chen Luo to Blue Star myself." Chen Luo was overjoyed at the offer. "What are we waiting for? Let's go to Snake Mother now." Huang Yao agreed, ready to set off. "We can use Law to fly. It'll take about 10 days to get there." Chen Luo simply smiled. "It won't take 10 days. Just give me the coordinates for Snake Mother." Hearing this, Huang Yao exclaimed, "Brother, are you suggesting we void walk there? I'm at divine level, and that's quite a drain on your energy." Before he could finish, Chen Luo revealed the spatial transfer law, startling Huang Yao. "Brother, this is incredible. How have you achieved 2 laws in just a few days? Maybe I should start calling you Big Brother." Chen Luo casually remarked, "Actually, I'm quite surprised myself. I didn't expect to grasp the second law so easily." Huang Yao was speechless at this. Is he even speaking like a normal person? Darn it, he's showing off again. As Chen Luo began creating the spatial tunnel, Huang Yao shared some background on Snake Mother. Snake Mother's story is quite tragic. Just like Cat Star, Snake Star was known not only for its beautiful inhabitants, but also as a delicacy. It wasn't until Snake Mother ascended to divinity that the fate of Snake Star changed. She's very compassionate and has worked tirelessly to earn money to nurture the snake race, hoping to produce another divine level being to protect Snake Star. When Time Trace wanted to destroy the Blue Star, Snake Mother was the first to stand against him. So I ask you, big brother, please be considerate towards her. Chen Luo immediately responded, of course. It seems I owe her a favor. Snake Mother sounds like someone I should get along with, especially since we'll need her help to purify the blue star. Quickly, he finished constructing the tunnel to Snake Star, and they arrived at the world of Snake Mother. Huang Yao, familiar with the place, led Chen Luo directly to Snake Mother's lair, built atop a world tree that had reached demigod level, emanating immense energy. Huang Yao shouted, Snake Mother, we have guests. How is this possible? Even with law flying, it should take at least 10 days to half a month. It's been less than an hour. Huang Yao chuckled, the shock I felt earlier will soon be yours to experience. Just try not to be too surprised. Snake Mother was momentarily stunned before she clasped her hands together and bowed to Chen Luo. Out of desperation, I troubled you, and that was wrong of me. I, Bai Zhen, apologize to you here. Seeing Snake Mother's sincere attitude, Chen Luo quickly returned the bow. No fight, no acquaintance. Thank you, Snake Mother, for helping me protect my home planet. Once inside, Snake Mother curiously asked, you just contacted me a moment ago. How did you arrive so quickly? Did you contact me when you were already close? Huang Yao, with a proud expression, revealed, we traveled here through a spatial tunnel. My big brother has now mastered the spatial transfer law. This is his second law. Snake Mother, upon hearing this, couldn't help but express her admiration. Chen Luo, you will surely master no less than 7 laws in the future. Just give me a moment, said Snake Mother before she walked into the world tree. She returned with a shining object. This is a world tree seed. Planting it on Blue Star will not only provide abundant energy, but also purify all impurities. Huang Yao was shocked. You have such a treasure, and you, always so frugal, are willing to give it away? At auction, this would fetch a minimum of 30 million, and it's not something you can just buy with money. Chen Luo took the seed, puzzled. Can this seed purify the pollution brought by Auburn? Snake Mother shook her head. The seed alone isn't enough. I have other methods to purify the pollution. Once we're at Blue Star, you'll see. I guarantee we can completely eliminate the pollution. Chen Luo didn't hesitate, and immediately took out Seth's card, containing over 50 million purple crystals. But Snake Mother refused to accept it. Chen Luo mentally noted, I'll remember this favor. If you ever need anything from me, I will do my utmost to help. Then, with a stern face, Snake Mother ushered Huang Yao out of the room. She turned back to Chen Luo with a smile. Since you're alone, I found some juniors to take care of you. Without waiting for Chen Luo's reaction, she called in 4 charming women. They are all demigod level. My very excellent juniors. Their names are Spring, Summer, Autumn, and Winter. From now on, they will serve you. You can also give them some guidance. Chen Luo was quite alarmed by Snake Mother's offer, thinking to himself, this is trouble. Millie is watching everything in the space. He then firmly declined. I am not a frivolous person. After firmly dismissing the 4 ladies, Snake Mother was initially surprised. Perhaps he doesn't fancy these juniors. Well, it's normal for a talented young man to have high standards. Meanwhile, inside the space, Rice was busily sniffing a vermilion fruit, muttering about its fragrance. Suddenly, Rice sensed a thread being pulled from Chen Luo. A thread that connected to someone immensely powerful. Rice recognized that someone was meddling with Chen Luo's fate, leading him towards a dangerous collision with these powerful individuals, which could put Chen Luo at risk. Rice smirked devilishly, a little meddling from the great Rice, and this meddler will be embarrassed. I don't need to do much. Just delay things a bit. Millie is the key to breaking this situation. The next morning, Snake Mother and Huang Yao found Chen Luo. Your spaceship is ready. You just need to bind your identity to it, and then you can use it as you wish. But just then, Rice started clamoring in the space, demanding to be let out. Hearing this, Chen Luo furrowed his brows and said, I came here alone. Wouldn't your coming out expose the secret of the special ability space? However, Rice assured him, just let me out. Even if they know, it's fine. They are not bad people. Reluctantly, Chen Luo made an excuse to leave momentarily, and then released everyone from the special ability space. He quickly asked Rice if something serious was about to happen, only to receive a dismissive snort in response. It's too stuffy in there. We need to get out and breathe too. Resignedly, Chen Luo led the group to Snake Mother and Huang Yao, giving them a brief introduction. This scared Snake Mother and Huang Yao quite a bit. No wonder you didn't let spring, summer, autumn, and winter serve you. You've been hiding these beauties. Where did all these beautiful women come from? Chen Luo didn't explain, and Snake Mother and Huang Yao didn't pry further. Then, Chen Luo said solemnly, now that the spaceship is modified, let's head back to Blue Star. But as soon as he spoke, Rice started to argue. I don't want to go back now. You must take me to the happy planet for a few days. I don't care. We must go to the happy planet right now. Chen Luo was shocked and thought to himself, Rice wasn't like this before. Could it be a rebellious phase? Unable to argue with Rice, Chen Luo agreed, I'll build a space tunnel now. It'll only take a couple of hours to reach Happy Planet. However, Rice refused this proposal too. I want to travel by spaceship. Do you have a problem with that? Rice muttered, Chen Luo, you fool, just listen to me, or you'll be in big trouble. Though Chen Luo didn't understand why Rice had changed so drastically, he agreed without hesitation, which scared Snake Mother and Huang Yao. They wondered, what's the deal with this cat-eared girl, daring to talk to Chen Luo like that? Then, as per Raya's demand, Chen Luo boarded the spaceship and asked her, why don't you want to use the space tunnel? Is there a special reason? Rice chuckled and said, some things are better left unknown. Just listen to me. That's right. No sooner had the words been spoken than an unidentified object hurtled towards the spaceship at high speed, smashing through and striking Chen Luo squarely in the chest. This frightened everyone aboard, who shouted in confusion about what was happening. When Snake Mother took a closer look at the object that hit Chen Luo, she broke out in a cold sweat and exclaimed, your luck is unbelievable. That's Rama metal. Chen Luo immediately asked, what's Rama metal? Is it valuable? Snake Mother explained, it's a very precious metal, commonly used to forge armor. Right now, it's priced at 50,000 purple crystals per pound. By my estimation, this piece weighs about 4,300 pounds, valuing it at roughly 180 million. It seems like wealth has literally fallen from the sky for you. Upon hearing this, Chen Luo instantly understood Raya's intention. This was why she insisted on traveling by spaceship. About 2 months later, the group finally arrived at Happy Planet. However, as soon as they landed, Rice was captivated by a newly released virtual reality game. She eagerly said, I want to play this. It says here that you can even help understand the law in the game. Hearing this, Snake Mother immediately said, understanding the law is all about cognition. If you grasp it in the game, you might be able to apply it in reality. Realizing the game could help understand the law, Chen Luo decided to buy 20 Supreme Gaming Pods. Not only could everyone relax and enjoy themselves, but they could also enhance their abilities. Why not? Then, the group moved the purchased gaming pods to the hotel. As Chen Luo sat in the gaming pod, his consciousness was instantly transported to a virtual world. Entering the game, he felt like he had arrived in a whole new realm and thought to himself, let's try void walking first and see how it compares to reality. Just as he was about to execute his move, a system prompt suddenly popped up. You have not learned this skill yet. Please purchase the skill book to learn it. Chen Luo had no choice but to open the recharge interface and bought all the space-related skill books. Then, Chen Luo began his frenzied venture into the void. In just 1 month, his progress in void walking has increased by 7%, but further advancement became extremely difficult. Thus, he turned to comprehend other laws, entering deeply into the spatial dimensions to perceive. Chen Luo sensed that there are a total of 8 types of spatial abilities, or 8 branches of law, each with its own capabilities and strengths. These included teleportation, transmission, and space manipulation for functionality, bias towards physical defense, and bias towards magical defense for protection, and dimension, annihilation, and penetration for offense. Chen Luo had mastered a bit of each, but apart from teleportation and transmission, he was not proficient in the others. What he lacked now was offensive power. So, he decided to start comprehending from the dimension aspect, which he was relatively good at. Meanwhile, others had logged out of the game. Thunder King remarked, this game is really good, much better than meditating in boredom. However, Rice became the first player in the game to die 1,000 times, which infuriated her. She exclaimed, nothing that some more money can't solve. If there is, then you're just not spending enough. At this moment, Chen Luo encountered another problem in his comprehension. Grasping the offensive laws was indeed challenging for him. Just then, a strange force suddenly invaded his world. He thought he would gain some insights, but it turned out to be Rice calling him to hurry out. Chen Luo thought something urgent had happened, so he quickly exited the game. To his surprise, Rice immediately asked him to lend her purple crystals, insisting on spending more in the game. Reluctantly, Chen Luo handed over Seth's purple crystal card to Rice, then suggested, "Let's set off back to Blue Star now. Anyway, it's several months' journey, and everyone can spend more time comprehending in the game during the trip." At this moment, Millie was engrossed in a book. Chen Luo hurriedly approached and asked, "What are you reading?" Upon hearing this, Millie replied, "You've come at the right time. Take a look at this, it's about something called Great God Certification. I think it will definitely help you. It's said that once the comprehension of a particular branch law reaches 100%, you'll receive a Great God Certification from the respective law. The transformation it brings is far greater than the rewards of advancing to divine level." Upon hearing these words, Chen Luo felt a jolt in his heart. So, when I comprehend void walking to 100%, I can obtain this Great God Certification, he pondered. With that thought, Chen Luo immediately declared, "Then, I will go and perceive the law now. I must obtain this Great God Certification as soon as possible." Without delay, he returned to his room to start his comprehension, only to find that advancing in void walking became more difficult, not making any further progress. On the contrary, he inadvertently gained insights into spatial defense, which greatly annoyed him. Void walking is the best defense, he thought. However, just then, Huang and Snake Mother suddenly rushed in, shouting, "Chen Luo, you must check outside the spaceship right away. Another law has arrived." Hearing this, Chen Luo was shocked and alarmed. Could it be that Thunder King has ascended to demigod level and became a deity right where he was? But before he could finish, a beam of light shot directly towards Chen Luo. Although for others, law is a coveted thing, Chen Luo looked disdainful, murmuring to himself, "I thought it was the Great God Certification coming. But what is this trivial thing? If it's going to come at me, at least make it an attack law." Huang Yao, already terrified, fell to his knees with a thump, crying out, "Monster! My big brother is truly a monster." Snake Mother was also trembling uncontrollably, thinking to herself, "The first time I met him, he was at the sovereign level. It hasn't even been a year, and he has already comprehended 3 laws. Is this guy even human?" Chen Luo, modified by the law and looking utterly despondent, muttered, "I don't want to admit that all my points have been invested in surviving." As Chen Luo had only understood 31% of spatial defense, the transformation by this law lasted only 10 minutes before it ended. Lying on the couch, Chen Luo let out a heavy sigh. At this moment, Huang Yao, puzzled, asked, "Isn't comprehending the 3rd law a huge cause for celebration? Why do you seem unhappy about it?" Upon hearing this, Chen Luo shook his head. "You know the laws I have comprehended, teleportation, transference, and the defense one just now, not a single attack law among them. While it's true that I now have 3 laws, it's difficult to even think of killing a divine level with 1 law. I might just be the lousiest 3-law person there is." At these words, Huang Yao immediately collapsed to the ground, while Snake Mother shouted, "Are those even human words? I wish to become the weakest 3-law divine level too, but the laws don't heed my call. You're really showing off here, and I give you full marks for it." 2 months later, Chen Luo and his group finally returned to Blue Star.